This video is powered by Dr. Cinik, one of the world's leading hair transplant centres and a top choice among football superstars. Scan the QR code on the screen or click the link below for your free consultation. I'm even thinking about getting it done myself.
Hi, welcome to AFTV. I've got Julian with me. We've just beaten Southampton 3-1 here at the Emirates. There was a moment when they scored first. Lord. What was going on around you at that time? What was going through your mind when they scored first? Was you thinking that was going to be an upset from Southampton today?
It was depression. You know, I was starting to panic. Least talked in the starting 11 how, and even on the Invincibles, how he was panicking for this game, and it was like.
Was he? Oh, he was nervous about this game.
Yeah, he was nervous about this game, but then. Everything about Southampton, when you look at their form, everything you looked about Arsenal, that was going to be a 5-0 game.
Yeah.
And then that first half, there was nothing for me. It was just, you know, I'm on this fast at the moment, and it's not very exciting. But it's more exciting drinking water for 5 days than it was watching that first half.
I can imagine.
Yeah, there was no enthusiasm from the players. You know, there didn't seem to be anything there, even from the ball boys and girls. You know, they just was like giving the ball back really slowly. And I know people think that's a bit of a joke, and that, you know, but when we have tight margins, you need everyone to be enthusiastic. Get that ball back to them. You know, keep the enthusiasm going.
Does that seem like a home thing? I feel like at home it's just I don't know what it is, but I feel like at home we're not the same as when we play away. You know.
Yeah, because. You know, everyone's been saying, including me, that was going to be a 5-0 game. And, you know, people criticise the fans for being arrogant and not giving respect to the opposition. But we're fans, we can do that. It's not us that are going to be playing. So it's up to the players to not have the same attitude as the fans, to go onto the pitch, to make sure that we've done the job and we come out 4-5-0. Because the thing is about...
Is that easier said than done, though, Julian? Or not, as a human?
Well, that's a good point. That is a really good point, because you're quite right. The way that Southampton played, it was really difficult to break them down. And also, you look at Southampton's results and their performances this season, they haven't actually been that bad. They're you know, the goal that the expected goals are something like 3 times more than they've actually scored. Wow. And when you look at how they play, once they concede that goal, do you remember the Man United game? Did you watch that?
Against Southampton?
Yeah, about Southampton. They were actually the better team. They concede the penalty and then they go on to lose 3-0. Now, when you look at what happened when Arsenal scored the equaliser, I wouldn't say they capitulated, but the heads went down. They didn't really have much after that. So if we'd just scored that early goal, we could now be talking about the 4-5, 6-0, and you could have had the relaxing time that some people were looking for.
What did you look at that was you know, a frustration for you? Because a lot of people, I think, I mentioned Jesus and Sterling. Do you highlight them as well in their performance, they not being too good?
Yeah, look, the players that filled in today, what we've done is we've strengthened our squad. So the idea is that players that fill in, there's not really that much of a drop-off. But if you look at the performance of the players from today back to Tuesday, there was absolutely a drop-off. Now, I'm not saying that those players aren't good players, because they are, and I disagreed with Dan to say that, you know, the time for Jesus is over, Zinchenko. They're great players, and they're great players to be able to come in for games like this and to come off the bench.
But we saw them today, Julian, and they weren't. This is the game you come in and show us that you're at a level where, you know, you can at least get the job done. Today they were poor.
Yeah, but they still had 29 shots on. 29
shots, not on target. Don't do that, because the on target was terrible. The stats.
Yeah, it was only 6. It was only 6 on target.
And at half time it was 1.
Yeah, and that's where things have suffered, because they had this kind of thing. When they get in front of goal, they weren't being efficient, and that's where things went wrong for me. Yeah. And it should have been. I mean, so last night I watched Jaws, and it's like, you know what's going to happen. You hear the music, and for me, when Arsenal have a corner, you know, you expect the music. In my head, the music's playing.
They had a lot of corners say Arsenal,
and it's inevitable. What's going to happen. The shark's going to eat the girl. Arsenal are going to score from a corner, but it just didn't seem to happen. It just didn't. It was almost like Back to the Future, when we played Southampton a few years ago. It makes sense. I haven't eaten for 6 days.
I can tell. Thank you very much.